Hello and welcome everyone. Rorik could not join us today. He's out sick for today's webinar, so I'll be running the show today all along. It's about 3 o'clock here in sunny Arizona, although it's a little bit cloudy today. And today we have a different way that we'll be conducting the webinar. I'll go ahead and start by sharing my screen first, just to go over a few things that are just, the regular activities that we always, follow along. So, today's webinar will be a live expert review and help on a landing page. We are having a guest, one of the Infusionsoft users. She will be sharing her landing page and her funnel with us, and then we'll be providing her expert reviews around what is, possible, what can be changed if there needs to be any changes. And anybody else who's attending today's webinar, you guys are more than welcome to use the chat and provide links to your landing pages, or if you want to share your screen after I'm done with Kathy, more than welcome to share your screen and we can jump into reviewing your landing page also. And while we are on it, we'll make it an open discussion where others can also provide their feedback, what they have learned, and learn collectively from each other. So with that, I don't have much information on Kathy. Kathy Swanson is the person who will be doing our live review of her landing page with us. So Kathy, I'll have you introduce yourself and kind of explain what you're doing, what your business is about, and what type of campaign you're running at the moment, and then we can move on to the next set of things. And give me just a moment. I want to make sure Kathy is unmuted. Kathy, you should be unmuted to speak.
And now I'm unmuted to speak on my side.
Okay.
Thanks for introducing. Yes, I am a relatively new Infusionsoft certified partner, and love Infusionsoft and what we're able to do, and really was excited when the mobile responsive landing pages came into play. So thank you, Drew, for helping be an integral part in making that happen. I've been learning a lot along the way, and one of the campaign and the landing page that we're going to be reviewing today is a current campaign that I'm doing for a free online workshop discussing how to be GDPR friendly, even if you don't think you do business with people that are in the UK and the EU. Mm-hmm. And so just giving you a little bit of context. So it's the focus is on area Infusionsoft users who I support through the Business Heroes kind of concept here in San Antonio and beyond. Does that give you a good sense?
Yeah, it does. So I guess to summarize, Kathy is a certified Infusionsoft partner, and what she's doing is she is creating a landing page or a course or a program, I would say, to educate people with the GDPR compliance and also help them jump on to the Infusionsoft, I guess, processes and what they have in place to make your business GDPR compliant, whether you are in the European countries or just getting yourself ready for what's coming next in your country, if that may be the case in the near future. Knowing what's been happening with the whole Facebook and the whole privacy of users and everything on the web, it is very important, I guess, to many people to make sure that the data that they are collecting and everything is completely secured and is not being sold to without their permission. And GDPR covers a lot more than just that, tracking people's activity on the web and everything. So is that somewhat correct, Kathy?
Absolutely, Drew. And in fact, I've had a history with this. I've always done permission-based marketing with my marketing automation firm. And I actually helped a well-known Fortune 100 company actually comply with canned spam when that went into place. So I do have a little bit of history with this permission-based marketing and helping people figure out how to go ahead and do this with as least pain as possible. And especially for those dual citizens, those pesky dual citizens who can go ahead and trip you up. So yes, definitely going ahead and sharing that expertise, getting people intrigued with Infusionsoft as well, because it's open to both Infusionsoft users as well as people who might consider or just are looking for some great marketing advice.
Yeah, great. And so the next step in my thing is obviously educating you guys a little bit about, the small business strategy that Infusionsoft has in place. You can always find additional resources for people who are very new to Infusionsoft and they just want to start out a strategy for their business. The link in this on this page, sites.google.com/infusionsoft.com/campaign strategy/home. It's a long URL. I'll try to shrink the URL to a very short URL that you can remember for the next webinar. I'll make a note so that you guys can attend. Whoever's new to Infusionsoft, it's a really great place to get started and pick out some strategies. They may not be the right strategies, but it's a good starting point. You can pick one of those strategies, download them inside your campaigns, and get started from that point onward. So feel free to check out that link if you're new or if you're a seasoned professional and sometimes just need ideas. The next step is always, one of the things that I always repeat in all of my webinars is the power of gradual reassurance. Is little yeses always make a big difference in how your visitors interacting with your landing page. So anytime you design a landing page or any kind of marketing, or even a PowerPoint presentation or a sales pitch, if you follow this basic principle of marketing, which is bringing the clarity on what you're presenting, building credibility around it, building the appeal, making them want to use your product or service, and creating exclusivity where this offer is only offered by you. The amount of money that somebody needs to invest in your product or service, or amount of effort that they need to put, almost becomes irrelevant. And something that is, I learned it earlier on in my career as a conversion expert. We helped a small business locally over here, help their e-commerce business grow from $1,500 to $2,500 a month is what they were generating when we first started consulting. Over the period of, I would say, 18 months, we helped them grow to generate about $45,000 to $50,000 a month, which was a lot of money. And this is all retail cost that they were selling their product. We were helping them sell that same product on their website and generate that sort of revenue. And through that process, we learned a lot, and a lot of those practices came in when building landing pages and running campaigns for businesses. In fact, if we have some time, Kathy, I would be happy to share one of this insane graph thing that I'm creating. It's like kind of a mind map, and I'd be happy to share the digital version of it with you guys. Also, I haven't fully completed it, for what it's worth, but I want to show you the work in progress of, my research and how I understand how you would want to maximize the profit for your businesses also. And then the pro tip of the week is, when testing your landing page performance, be sure to find ways to ask your customers if the page has been helpful to make the decision towards your offer. So one thing that we did in our earlier days is we were helping this customer, and the customer said that they're getting very low traffic, and they're getting, not many people are buying into what they're selling. And so we asked a question: do people even know what you're selling? Like, right? So sometimes you have a website and it's so general or so technical in language that people almost lose track of what you're actually selling or what you're actually offering, just because there's so much distraction on the website that you just don't know what the real purpose. Especially, like, if you go to like lawyers website, right, their language, the verbiage that they use almost like doesn't even make sense to a commoner. When they talk about litigation and this process and that, they become so intrigued, involved within their own jargon of language, that they forget that most common people don't even know what those words mean, right? And so sometimes landing pages, there are ways that you can ask your customers, exactly if they understand what's on the page. One way we did it was using a live chat app, and there is a local company that I do want to show you guys. They're called PureChat.com. I think it's .com and not .io. Maybe Pure Chat. It might be something okay, it is .com. I don't know why the page did not load. So this is 100% free live chat, and it has this hello bubble. Then you can start interaction with your customers, and you can embed this in our landing pages at no cost. They give you a little embed code once you sign up for them. More than welcome to use this. It is a free service. They do have a pro level. And there are differences. If you are an individual or of sort, pro level just gives you additional kind of opportunities, but the free version is forever free. So what's included in the free version and what's included in the pro version, there is a clear comparison, and you are more than welcome to try those out. But they give you unlimited users, unlimited chats, advanced customization of the widget, integrations, all sorts of things, and this is no cost to your business. You can have a little chat bubble where you can just simply ask, like, hey, are you willing to take a little survey? Hey, is there something I can help you with? Or if you are live on your mobile device, I think they have an app for mobile devices also, where you get text anytime somebody messages you on the live chat. You can just respond from your phone. You don't have to be on your computer all the time. So if you're one of those people who are loving your freedom as a freelancer and love to be mobile all the time, they do have that offering available, and it is free. So feel free to check it out. They are called PureChat.com. I'll share this link in the chat in case anybody is interested. Give me just a second. And here it is. And so you guys have the link. Feel free to try this out. So the way we did it is we were helping this customer. They were selling stevia products, and stevia, if you guys don't know, they were kind of a sugar replacement for people who are diabetics, right? And we asked people the question, do you know what your diabetes index is, right? Like the ACL, AC1s, or I forget the names, the terminology, but we asked people, do they know? It was a simple yes and no question, and people respond to it, and we were able to educate them on what, health factors, and help them get in the right direction. And then we were able to package a product that was very specific to them, and they were able to get a lot more benefits out of it. We were able to upsell the product at a lot higher value with a package deal. Instead of selling one individual item, we were able to package it after understanding what the customer really wants. You are able to sell to them. And as I always educate people, as long as you have this process down where you're bringing clarity to your customer, then credibility and appeal and exclusivity, the customer almost at all the time, okay, I'm hoping I'm not destroying it. Oh yeah, I did move things around. almost becomes irrelevant how much they need to pay because it's a real value to them at that point, right? And what they need to pay, it almost becomes irrelevant. So, feel free to try these tried and tested method out, and try out this free chat also if you like. They give you a code snippet that you can use inside of our landing page builder in the launch step. In the head area is where you want to paste the code that they give you, and this little widget will appear on that page immediately after you launch the page. So try them out. Really cool company, and they're doing some really cool things, so feel free to check them out. So with that said, I would love to jump on to Kathy. Kathy, do you mind sharing your screen? Let me see if I can stop sharing my screen, and then I can possibly make you a presenter. Okay, so I just changed your role to a presenter, so you can share your screen with us. It should just say share my desktop, and we can have a look at what you have going on, and then move from there.
Fantastic, Drew. And you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can, and I can see your screen fine also.
Fantastic. And I really like you sharing all those things. I actually have another business that is an e-commerce retail business for handcrafted body care. Okay. And we are an Infusionsoft user, and I am checking out Pure Chat. That sounds fabulous.
Awesome.
So maybe we'll be able to go ahead and do another expert review at another time. But in the meantime, this is a copy of my campaign that's currently running on GDPR friendly, whether or not you think you do business in the EU or UK. And this is actually utilizing one of my campaign masters that I've developed for my clients, which is a Zoom integration for Infusionsoft. So lots of good bells and whistles here. But let's go ahead and get started out with the landing page.
Yeah, by the way, thank you for sharing the whole entire campaign, because sometimes people even need help understanding how a lot of partners create these very complex kind of campaigns and everything also, and how they work, right? Like a lot of people are stuck on just one node on their page that just says landing page and then one sequence behind it kind of thing, right? So this is wonderful that you have like a whole really nicely planned out campaign going on over here also.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I do, and this is kudos to Rorik and Matt and everybody who is helping out with the training and the success for the certified partners. I've got not only instructions on how to use the campaign over here, and titles, but I also have how to best use merge fields and set up the campaigns and the Zoom integration and what you need to do, as well as the ability to go ahead and have an abandoned shopping cart. So let me walk you through the overview of the campaign so you can get a sense of it, and then we'll dive real quick then into the landing page. So what happens is that I send out invitations for people that have participated before, been interested in before, to attend the workshop, and it's a series of 3 emails over time, and that immediately go to the landing page. Of course, the little figure here means that people that I am promoting this to on social media, people that I'm inviting, that I just saw at Rotary or any other type of social event, then I can have them come in. I am using a custom Bitly for the landing page when I'm promoting it, so that people know that they can go to Bitly at GDPR friendly and be able to get access to this page. Okay. I am going through a email confirmation for folks and sending them off to my indoctrination campaign if they haven't been before, gone through that confirmation. I am tagging them that they are registered for the workshop. which is one of the things I'd really like to see more easily on landing pages, but we can go out into that in a minute.
Okay.
If they haven't, within 30 minutes, gone ahead and registered, this whole section right here is how I get successful abandoned cart recoveries, and we'll be able to see the code in the landing page for that in a moment. And then once they register, we confirm them. We've got our Zoom registration that's automatic, that gets that personal join link, and then the reminder emails allow that person to get the reminders in an easy way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we also click for making sure that they attend. So nice, simple, streamlined, and we also end up giving them a replay of the workshop afterwards.
Nice. Yeah, this looks really great. Yeah, let's jump into the landing page. What you're sharing right now, Kathy, is very valuable in many ways. The mind map thing that I'm designing at the moment, and I'll share it in just a few after we're done with your page process. I'll share with you guys what I have planned, and it does have that very specific, the whole webinar and everything in line for sure. So yeah, go ahead and share your page.
Excellent. So one of the things that happens when you copy a campaign is that your landing page doesn't stay intact, but rather you need to use templates to access that campaign.
Yeah, that's something that we are actually working towards. It's one of our open tasks to fix, is to make sure that whenever a campaign is duplicated, the page also gets copied and a new copy of it is already created. So it's one less step that you have to pick.
Fantastic. But as you can see, it's fairly quick once you know where the darn thing went.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just do test.
Okay.
Actually, I have a nice, naming convention that I've done on the landing page. And I've got my logo on there, but really I'm not using that piece. Let's get into the design, though.
Okay.
And what I did is I pulled together various elements. I learned from last week and put in a timer right here in the code snippet.
Oh, nice.
I learned a lot last week. I appreciate that. I've got my background. I've got a very GDPR-friendly opt-in.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, one of the things that we have to do is this consent button you cannot require it. You cannot have it pre-clicked. They can attend your workshop, and they can be in a situation where you have to give them you have to deliver on that contract and not market to them afterwards. So that's one of the fun things we'll be talking about during this workshop.
Yeah.
So they have the ability to sign up. I'm just going over real quick what you'll learn. I do have my affiliate link for Infusionsoft, so I can track any leads that come through this. And I've got the benefits of the workshop, my disclaimer, because I am not a legal representative. I tell them a little bit about Business Hero San Antonio, what we're up to, and that it's a pitch-free environment. I get that reserve your spot going all the way back up.
Okay.
And then I tell them a little bit about myself, and that doesn't look like it. That I'm going to need to correct that if it's still doing that on the regular page with the social media links. And then I have a pre-GDPR compliant privacy policy below.
Oh, nice.
So that is a basic overview of what I have.
Perfect. Okay, so now you are ready for some review of it, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So I have a 10-step kind of a method that I always use to make sure that my pages are designed with a flow in mind, where customers, uh, visitors, when they come to my page, they already have a preconceived notion of what they are expecting out of it. And then as they're going through the page, they become more and more eager at getting my product or service. And the page so far, what you have done is very well designed, so kudos to you for creating the way you created it. What I would do is, let me ask you, when you are sharing the link on Facebook, when you are sending out the email, what is the pretext, like what is the kind of a message that you're putting out there on those messages to begin with?
Okay, so on the message when I'm sharing this event,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sharing this in a way with people I know,
Okay.
I say FYI. Folks have been asking me a lot lately about how the new General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, applies to their marketing and other communications since they have a U.S.-based business.
Okay.
Now, while our expertise is marketing and we're not in the legal business, there are ways businesses can use proven marketing practices and even ninja tricks
Mm-hmm.
to have a smoother GDPR journey, whether or not they have to be compliant. If you'd
Mm-hmm.
like to join us for this free online workshop, click the bit.ly link to register.
Gotcha. So for those of you who are listening, that is a brilliant way to preset, like kind of frame the message for the page that they are planning to go to, right? Because sometimes if I were to jump on this page and I have no interest in GDPR for now, for whatever reason, and I'm just considering 70% of the people that come to the website without not knowing anything about the page, right? For those folks, it's very important that you have a pretext, a kind of a little message before it's, the way I explain it to a lot of my customers is like a trailer before the movie, right? You build a bunch of trailers, you get people excited to get to the actual movie, which in our case is our landing page in a way. Before that, you build a few trailers, and one of the trailers could be the message that you're putting out there that gets their interest. And Kathy, what you mentioned, the people that you're reaching out to, people who already know about you, people already are interested in. So you're already warming up. The leads are warm, meaning you have a higher chance of people wanting to fill out the form and jump onto the webinar call with you, right? On the Zoom session.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these people trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working from that angle on the relationship as well.
Yeah.
That they know that they can come to me for no nonsense, direct ways to unconfuse the process. And in my emails, on my email invitations, I also use the quick statement. There is so much confusion about GDPR and how it can impact businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been increasing my open rate as well.
Oh, great. So one suggestion that if I were to make one change, and
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that you want to make it immediately, maybe try a variation of the page, okay? And what I would probably suggest is, I see that you have a background image of the campaign that you have kind of set up right there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the form is kind of off to the side. What I would do is I would bring the form more in the center and make that column wider and make the text even bigger. Just because, and the only reason why I'm saying this to bring it more in the center is because people in general tend to follow pages that are unidirectional, meaning straight down, straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do that by clicking on the manage layout piece right there. And click on there, and then row, and then that column that you have. I think you have two columns, right? So let's go back.
Yep.
And then the first column really doesn't have anything in it, right?
Correct.
the column one. So, you can actually just delete that, and I'll show you how you can still keep the other one to the left. So you can just delete the column number one. You can just, trash it, and it automatically brings it, and then click on the settings of that. And then if you go to where's the sidebar? You may have to click on
I don't know where my sidebar.
You may have to click on the settings again.
There we are.
And if you scroll down to the very bottom of that thing, and there is that alignment, and you can align it in the left, right, or center, just like that, right? And in that style, you can also make it a bit wider, like so. So it just stands out, and it just tells them that, hey, I need to do this. And now you can make your free online workshop text a little bit larger if you want, and all that. So I think your size is 24 at the moment. You can make it maybe 30. Yeah, that's fine. What this does is, sometimes what I would do on a page like this is just to have people fill out the form, I would make it, instead of one column, I would make it a 3 column, but the 2 columns on the side are just the arrows that are pointing to the form also. You know what I mean? So it kind of drives their attention towards filling out the form. You don't have to go that distance. I think you already have convinced people to fill out the form and sign up for this free workshop and everything, right? So you've already kind of set their mind set. And sometimes, what I tell customers is, if you already sold them on things, you don't need to oversell people on things, right? So sometimes people make lengthy pages, but people are already convinced. You're almost unconvincing them when you have too much information. Sometimes a simple sign up page like this, or that first block that you have, just does the work. But let's scroll down a little bit. I want to read a little bit more in the compliance part. So it says what you will learn, and you have it very clearly outlined. There is so much confusion about general data protection regulation. A lot of people don't even know what GDPR stands for, so thank you for putting that message in it. What I would also do is highlight. So what I always think of doing is, when you're making a page, you want to make it for 2 different type of visitors: a fast reader and a person who actually takes time in reading every single word that you have written out on the page, right? And for the fast readers, what they want to do is they just quickly go through, scan through the page, and whatever is bold or different color is where their attention goes to. So you can say there's so much confusion about general data protection that can impact your business. Yeah, you can make it bold. You can change the color of it to maybe a different color that kind of drives their attention, kind of thing. But what that does is, every sentence or every line that you write, you're just literally making them easy to scan for people. And if that is what matters to them, if those are the hot buttons that trigger their emotion that they need to sign up for this, that's how you can literally drive people's intention towards something that you have to offer, kind of thing, right? And then so yeah, something like that is really useful, especially when you are driving people to just quickly scan through your page, whether you're currently an Infusionsoft user or have been contemplating how this top tier performing platform marketing and sales automation tool can make your business more effective. So you can, within that line, you can use italics or something to kind of drive their attention that, hey, even saving time, being GDPR compliant. So save time, being GDPR compliant is something just that, right there is something that brings attention to them, that and if you just make it bold or something, italics, it just makes people want to, there's so much to do, and then save time reading. See how you're almost creating a subliminal message within your landing page that people who are even quickly scanning through, they know exactly what they're going to get out of this, right? So small things like these, highlighting items on the page or changing the color or making it bold or underline or something, definitely drives people to quickly scan through your page, even if it's like first 3 seconds. Within those first 3 seconds, as they are scrolling through your page, they know exactly what they're going to get out of it, right? And it's a method. I forgot the term for it, but it's almost like reaffirming what they're reading back to them. So if they were to speak back to themselves as they're reading the page, they're like, okay, yes, this makes sense. This makes sense. It all checks out, and it goes back to what I was kind of explaining, those little yeses. So we are building little yeses through the message that you have. A lot of people think that a really cool looking, fancy looking landing page will drive them higher conversions or something. It's not really the beauty of the page, it's the beauty of the content that you put on your page. And it's so hard to kind of sometimes put it in people's head. And Kathy, you've done like already a great job. Like I would not change a single thing on how you have designed the page. It feels like it's very naturally flowing, through the page and everything. All the content is. Then it says during the online workshop you will learn, and then this is where you are really going down into all the different bullet points, like why are the right to be forgotten is not not an unsubscribed, right? Like different things. What are your why are your privacy policy needs to change anyway, right? So different things that I'm reading through the page, it almost makes me want to sign up for it, right? And then underneath you are saying like disclaimer that Kathy Swanson and Integrated Marketing Works are not legal business. So you're really making a claim right there. What I would do personally in that box that you have, disclaimer, hold shift on your keyboard and click around in that disclaimer box. Yeah, and go ahead and click on it. Maybe hold shift and then click outside of it. You might see a blue outline out of it, just a little bit out. You might start seeing a blue outline out of it, or we may just have to go to manage layout.
I'm clicking in and I'm clicking out with the shift click.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the column a lot quicker rather than so. Yeah, so let's just go to the manage layout, and what I would do is that disclaimer that you have, we would want to give that disclaimer maybe like a light yellow background. So right there, so click on that and then click on the settings. Yeah, and then go to background color and add a new color.
Just for the convenience.
Oh yeah, and I would add a yellow color and then change the transparency to a really light. So right there, yeah, any yellow is fine. And just do save, and then change the transparency to like a 1% or something. Right there, something like that. I mean, this might, so you can see how whenever you're putting a disclaimer, you want to put a yellow background or a blue, the same very light shade of blue right there in your disclaimer. What this does is naturally be inclined to read something that is a disclaimer, and we are bringing that attention, and yellow is usually a really good color. Yellow, red, blue, and green, these are the really cool colors to make your affirmation, your attention, your warning. Those are the things whenever you see your red lights on the traffic or yellow lights in the traffic sign, you get alerted. So you're naturally conditioned to read that message kind of thing, right? So small things like that. Like now if we scroll up on the page a little bit, you'll see how we haven't done any design changes. We just changed like that color, and now it automatically makes people want to read that, hey, you're bringing that attention to them, and it builds that trust. It builds their that exclusivity thing that we were talking about in the little yeses. Small things like this definitely makes those changes, and this is something that people care for reading, right? Like that disclaimer that you are not a legal in legal business, we are interpreting the law for you kind of thing, right? So you're making it very clear. Now let's scroll a little bit further down on the page. And then it says about Business Hero San Antonio. So now you're explaining what you guys do, how you guys are doing, and this is very common to kind of educate people, even if they're for the first timers. I would probably, and I think what you are doing over here, if I understand it correctly, is you're educating them at what else that you do, as a business heroes program that you have and everything, right, for the Infusionsoft. So, which is also great. This is where you're building that credibility. Remember how we talked about building that credibility? And underneath this, I think you have your about, like about yourself kind of message, right? Right underneath it. Yeah, and you have that reserve your spot. So what I would do with that reserve your spot button is I would make it larger in size. Now, let me ask you one thing. You can just click on it and just go to the style. Yeah, and you can make it XL and it'll just become like a nice and large button. Let me ask you this. What made you choose the blue color? Is that a blue color that you have for your branding? Is that a blue color that you have for your business, or is that something that you just pick randomly, or was it part of the template that made you choose the blue?
Yeah, so part of the branding is blue, and at the same time, it was a situation of time versus going ahead and finding the right color to do it. But I would go, if I were to go ahead and pick right now, I'd go ahead and do something like this, or a nice bold green.
Yeah, so, and that was one of my questions to ask also was, blue works, and it works really well for a lot of reasons. What you would want to do is whenever you're using buttons on your page, you want to build a high contrast, meaning the button should be visible to a blind person in a way. Contrast, you know what I mean? And usually large size buttons with very bright colors, and if they're contrasting with the page, blue stands out, orange stands out, green would stand out. Those are the common colors a lot of people ask, but sometimes those colors also come off very salesy, right? And because people are just accustomed to seeing that kind of marketing messaging and very dry effort to make somebody convinced otherwise kind of thing, right? So do use them wisely, but I would always create a contrast. So whatever the color of your branding is, make your call to action button stand out as much as you can. So it's one, very easy for somebody to just click on the button, right? And two, it helps them make the decision right away, and the buttons that you have, you can put the message on it, like, don't miss out on this opportunity, reserve your spot kind of thing. Always want to use those hot buttons, kind of, that's near and dear to people, like, get complied before it's too late, right? Get your business under compliance, whether you are doing this. One thing I would recommend here, Kathy, is I know that you're educating people with GDPR compliance and what they will learn, but one thing that I would ask you to see if you can try and add something is, who is it for, right? Like, who are you really targeting? What degrees of businesses are you going after? So for example, if you are doing a business is going, like a legal business, whether it's a medical related business, any business that's collecting a lot of information of sort, and there needs to be some sort of privacy before they become, PCI compliant of some sort, right? Like, so who is it for? Because when you say, just how you're saying what you will learn, if you have a section that says who is this thing for, people will automatically put themselves in the place that, okay, I am part of this, click, right? And they would want to, and underneath, if you have a call to action, like a button underneath that says yes, reserve my spot, people would be more inclined to being part of that group, being part of that clique. People are accustomed to being part of tribes, ever since the earlier days of mankind. So, things like that definitely will help you get a higher conversion. Not that you're doing enough on the page, but if there was one thing I would suggest that you may want to add is probably something like that, where you say who is it for, and you just literally define every single business or every single individual that may be benefiting from this kind of a webinar that they would join.
Absolutely. I already wrote down technology because it's amazing how the IT folks don't realize this is coming down.
Yeah.
And retail, nonprofit, as well as services, professional, medical, etc. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
As soon as people find that category, they will be like, okay, this is me. And then you can also bring that back in your calls, the Zoom calls that you do. You can definitely bring those same topics back in one of your slides, that this is very specifically for people who are in these categories. So it's a reaffirmation for them. But besides that, I am a fan of the page the way it is so far. Do you have any questions about, like, the configuration on the page, or anything that you are stuck on with the landing page design besides the review of the content?
At this point, no. I mean, these are all great recommendations. I've got all sorts of pieces on my to-do list to go ahead and make these changes tomorrow morning when I get a moment to do that. And we'll be able to see the difference in the performance of it. With the redirect, the thank you page and the launch, those are the other things I wanted to show you guys. See if there's any improvements we can make on that.
Okay.
Before we do that, I did go with I have Plus This.
Okay.
And so that's the code snippet for Plus This for my timer, my countdown timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we get any further.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus This is awesome too, yeah. If ever you need any help with any Plus This implementation on the pages, feel free to reach out. Anybody who's watching the webinar, anytime you click on that little help button on the top right corner, it comes either directly to me, Kaveen, or somebody who is available for the live chat, and we are more than happy to help you where you're stuck.
Fantastic. So when we go onto the thank you page, and that's another thing where that thank you page may or may not have copied.
It should.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So I've got my little check mark giving everybody 3 steps to do. One, look for the email to confirm the registration. And then keep a lookout for the reminder email. And then I also use Plus This for adding the event to their Outlook or iCal or Google Calendar.
Nice. That is awesome. This definitely helps people really, add it to their calendar without forgetting. And although you send out email confirmations it's funny how you find how different people interact with different technology in different ways, right? Like, you have to almost send them 10 different ways to set a calendar a reminder, and one of them is what they prefer, so whether it's a text message, adding to the calendar, email reminder, and people still miss out on a lot of events and appointments that they have set. So it's really good way that I think you've done a brilliant job over here, adding the Plus This calendar reminder kind of thing, so that people have different ways that they immediately, whether they're coming from a mobile or web, they have a way to immediately add it to their calendar. So kudos.
Absolutely. And this is part of that little yeses system too. I mean, just going ahead and adding it to their calendar is a micro commitment.
Yeah.
So
through the webinar, and after. So.
And I love the there's a concept that if if you've got something that you did an action and made a micro commitment to, your brain says something's not complete. I'm not done with that. And it's more likely to show up in your memory.
Yeah. Yeah, and they say that most people who are stressed or they cannot go to sleep at night is because they have things in their mind that they have not completed yet, you know. And these little micro commitments makes them realize that, okay, yes, I have, you know, and it brings that satisfaction, that closure within themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So besides, go ahead.
Yeah. You go ahead. No
I
problem.
was just saying, so besides that, in the chat, if Barney, Paul, whoever else is on, if you guys have any comment, if you guys have any feedback for Kathy or for myself, you know, more than welcome. Or if you have a landing page that you have created yourself, we have about 10 minutes. I was hoping to share this one mind map that I've been working on. I haven't fully completed it, but if we have time, I can just share that. If somebody has any other feedback or comment, more than welcome to, you know, put them in the chat, and I'd be happy to respond to those also.
And while we're doing that, just a couple of quick things here when publishing the page. I do have my Facebook pixel code in here, opening up that. So that's the only I have in the header. But over here, I have the little script that is included to do the abandoned cart.
Okay.
You can do that on a landing page or an order form. And so that has been amazing. I'm actually working with a client who is just almost in tears for the fact that of how the successful abandoned cart has increased her business. And then, of course, you can do your Facebook settings, but this is the piece I like the best, is the custom domain.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to have that friendly domain that is similar to your main domain is quite beneficial.
Yeah, and in fact, just last night, as a quick announcement, we did make the pages even more Google compliant. So a lot of people were complaining about their ads not running through AdWords or something. So we did push out a small update, but it's huge in a lot of people's you know, business who are running ads through Google. They were having some issues with pages not rendering properly or Google giving them some issues. So we did fix that as a silent push update that people don't even have to know about it, but now it just works kind of thing. So if you are running Google ads, you should not have problems with those also. We are making few other small updates. I'll probably make a video of the updates that we are making with the page. We should be rolling them out within this week. Once all the updates are ready, it'll be just small little features, the annoying factors that, you know, we have been hearing from customers here and there, especially when editing text and what have you. So we are making those fixes, and those should be available to you guys this week sometime. So don't count me on, you know, what date, but as soon as things are working and they are bug free, we should be able to release them, and I'll probably post a video on Facebook with the updates and what have you. So with that, what I'll do, Kathy, is I'll change you from presenter to a spectator. I don't know how to do that, by the way, but at least once we can have returning to sharing, I will stop your screen share. Let me see.
I'm going to stop it on my side.
Okay, perfect.
And thank you for going over that with me. I truly appreciate it, and I've got a lot of easy changes to make.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Then what I will do is I will switch my role to a presenter, and I will open up this one diagram that I have been putting together. Now it might be I have it on my large monitor. I have multiple monitors on my desktop over here, but I will share my screen again. We have about 6 minutes, but what I was putting together is like maximizing maximum profit for your business, right? So how can you generate maximum profit? And if you apply this kind of theory or this idea, how you can kind of do it. So it's basically you have a visitor coming from different sources, right? Whether you're running a paid ad, organic traffic, affiliate marketing of sort, social media, email, blog content, what have you, or if you're running bringing returning visitors to your business. What you're doing is pretty much taking your visitors, turning them into prospects by giving something away for free or any kind of lead generation. And then you have, you can kind of break your prospects down into different kind of categories like the hot, the warm, and the cold, and what type of campaigns you can run for your hot customers, prospects that are really hot, they're very interested, they've pretty much done everything that you asked them to thus far, kind of thing. Invite them to the seminar, webinar, which Kathy just mentioned. Have a discount deadline if you're running a discount, reinstate your offer, kind of thing. And then warm leads, if they are just warm, like you just collected, like these are the early captures from like one of the giveaways that you may have done or something, right? How you run that content along. And then any of your cold leads that you may have, that people who are in your email list but they're not really active with you, what you need to do, like touch email or something. You can offer them some sort of a discount to become a customer for the first time, invite them for some free advice or what have you, right? And Kathy's doing a great job bringing all those and making them into customers, which is what you really want. But when you do have customers, there is a simple philosophy where you want to the first time visitors, you want to make them feel wowed for the first 30 days at least, right? You want to make them feel that they belong in your community, in what you're doing. You want to do something special to recognize them as a new member, right? Like, welcome to the family, what we are doing and everything. And you'll notice that every time any business that has followed these practices, they always trump over, other businesses or the competitor, whether it's like a small pest service, right? Like if they make you feel like a really awesome, customer for the first time, whether they're giving you a $25 dinner card or whatever it is, right? You make your customer feel awesome for the first 30 days, give them the best service you can offer, you can make them into your repeat customers. And once you make them into your repeat customers, you can almost turn them into your advocates, meaning they are the ones who bring you new referrals. They are the ones who do the word of mouth marketing. And then, obviously you have some customers that are completely lost, so they have become your customer once, and now they're no longer doing business with you. And there are a few things that you may want to do with them. And then dead customers who just did one sale and it's been months or weeks or even years, and they haven't returned back to them. And try reaching out to them through a different medium than what you already have tried, right? So if you were doing all online advertisement and email marketing and that's not working, maybe reach out to them over phone. I have seen many businesses, like small things, and you don't have to do all these things immediately. Like the list and the whole chart looks very overwhelming when you look at it, but all it takes is just one change that you make to your business. For example, how I mentioned adding that live chat support on the website, right, or on your landing page. You can use it on either or, but adding that one little thing may just bump up your rate of conversion a lot higher, and you're just making that one small step. And then from whatever you learn from that step is where you move on to the next step, right? So all these small things will make a huge difference. I will try to make a copy of this and share it in one way or the other with you guys. Right now it's just a mind note that I have created on my desktop, but I would definitely share this graphic with you guys so you guys can learn something new or use some of these things that you may not have thought of to tackle your different types of customers and see how you can attract them better. for your business, right? So yeah, so feel free, and I think we are up on our time, so I do thank you, Kathy. If anybody else is interested, please message me or let me know in the chat if you want to get your page reviewed. Otherwise, next Wednesday, I'll have something new. I'll have something surprising for you guys. I may even elaborate on this particular graph that I'm doing right here, the mind map that I'm doing, and may just walk through on how you can go about doing that. So thank you everyone who attended today's webinar, and have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you guys next week.